When we first spoke on our first podcast, you mentioned the healing puzzle, but we didn't really go into the details of it.
About it.
So let's go through that.
Okay, and I love that we're doing it here in Sausalito because I actually directed a treatment center that's right up on the hill.
Yeah, you pointed just up with the view behind us now.
Yeah.
You can't see, but the Golden Gate Bridge is just around the corner as well. We tried to film there, but it was cold.
I always say that I was really grateful for that experience because I got what I call my science lab.
Right.
And so I got to see addiction treatment done the way that it needs to be done so people actually become sober and they stay sober and they heal. Okay, because that's one of the problems in mental health is we often give it a diagnosis and then hope that people are just going to get better.
Yeah.
You know, if we name it, that's not enough. It's more about what we're going to do for it. And a lot of my profession is just about diagnosing or labeling symptoms, but we're not doing anything to actually cure them or to heal them completely.
And preventing as well.
And preventing. And so that's one of the things that I know is so important is to actually get at the whole person. And so I call it the healing puzzle solved, which is because what happens is a lot of times people say, oh, you've got negative thinking going on. Okay, and they'll work with helping someone change their thoughts, but they aren't looking at, does this person have heavy metal poisoning? Do they have adrenal fatigue? Do they have low blood sugar? Is their brain chemistry off? And that's one of the things that all those things need to get treated. You need to be able to go and get people's trauma out of their nervous system, the memories. And that's what people don't understand is that most disease is created because of emotional trauma that's stored in our cells.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm not sure if I talked about this when we talked before, but there was a woman, Candace Pert, that actually did the science that shows that we store our emotions and our memories in our cells.
Right, okay.
And so a lot of times what I tell people when I do the guided trauma work that I do that gets at the cellular memories that are stored in your body and your nervous system is we got to get at that. Because if you have a cell here and you've got all kinds of trauma, like the time I got lost at the store. And that's the other thing that's difficult is when you say the word trauma, people say, oh, I don't have trauma.
Yeah.
Okay, because they think they needed to have gone to Vietnam or been in a car accident or been raped. But you have trauma when the teacher calls on you in class and you don't have the answer.
Yeah.
Or a kid bullies you at school, or your dad doesn't notice the great thing that you did. And all those moments start to shape who you are.
Yeah.
And we have to get at those and we have to heal at those. But the problem with psychology is we actually don't really have a lot of methods to actually get at what's stored in our body and our cells so that people can heal. So often I want to do that work with people as soon as possible because when I do it, people get better over time.
Yep.
Okay? And when they get to the part of the process where they're releasing it and they're forgiving, I always say I want it to be effortless because then I know that they felt everything that they need to feel, they've said everything that they need to say, and that it's going to release from their cells because what you want is you want to imagine that you have a cell. Okay, and you've got all this trauma in there that's blocking health and healing and peace and happiness, or literally creating disease, because once that emotion is in there, it can trap toxins, it allows disease and pathogens to set in.
Right.
Okay, and your brain is very smart. It's supposed to get you to heal. Okay, and so a lot of times too with trauma, you see people having the same kind of traumas over and over and over and over.
Yep.
And that's their body, their consciousness, their soul, whatever you want to say it. And people get really upset when I talk about this. It's when you're having these experiences repeatedly, there's a part of you unconsciously that are drawing it to you because you need to experience the trauma and hopefully maybe to have space or containment because maybe you went through it and your parent couldn't contain that or there wasn't anyone around. And so you need to be able to heal this so your new cells can replicate without the old ones.
Yeah.
You get all new eyeballs every 48 hours.
That makes sense.
Okay, none of us should have vision problems. You get a whole new liver every 7 to 9 weeks, something like that. So if you had liver cancer today, why would you have liver cancer tomorrow? And it's because as your cells replicate, it's loaded with all this stuff, whether it's chemicals or toxins or emotional toxins, and they go over and they're like, oh, here, dude.
Straight on.
But if you've gotten it all out of here, it will heal.